This video will provide you with tips and tricks of producing a perfect tasting espresso from the Smeg espresso coffee machine. There are many different variables that will affect the taste of an espresso, and much of this comes from the preparation. Firstly, if you wish to make a simple and perfect coffee every time, then we recommend to use the double-walled filters that come supplied with the machine. There are two provided, one for a single espresso and the other for a double. However, if you would rather develop a coffee that's specific to your own taste, try using the single-walled espresso filters. Using the following steps, you can adjust the flavour and quality of coffee produced. Here are our tips on how to do so. When first using the machine, we recommend that you set the grinding level to number 5. This will provide a good benchmark for adjustment depending on the coffee used and the flavour you wish to produce. We also recommend keeping the dose of coffee consistent. It's recommended that an 11-gram dose is appropriate for the single shot filter and an 18-gram dose for the double shot filter. It's possible to use less than the suggested dose, but it's likely that the puck will be a little too wet if too little has been used. This is due to there being space for water to collect in the portafilter. If too much coffee has been used, you may see the impression of the shower screen in the top of the puck. Whichever dose you decide upon, the most important point is that you stay consistent. Using scales will ensure this consistency. Or you can overfill your portafilter with coffee and then evenly swipe off the excess coffee using a knife or flat object to level off. The pressure you apply with the tamp to the coffee grounds will also affect the rate at which the water flows through the coffee grounds and thus the flavour and extraction. A starting guide is to apply approximately 10 to 14 grams of force onto the puck. To help you gauge what this feels like, apply your body weight to a set of scales and then apply to the coffee. The espresso machine contains a manometer. This is a dial located in the central part of the control panel. This is a great way to understand whether you're close to achieving the optimum pressure. As the coffee is dispensed, the dial will move and should appear in the central dark solid section. If it's failing to reach this zone, then not enough extraction is taking place. You can check whether the coffee grounds are fine enough, the portafilter is not full enough, or there is not enough pressure being applied to the puck. If the dial is moving beyond this solid section, then you can try reducing the fineness of the grind or reducing the amount of coffee in the puck and apply less pressure to the puck. Once you've mastered the basics, you can start to achieve coffee to your desired taste. Here are some further tips. The speed at which the water flows through the coffee will affect the flavour. To determine the correct speed of the shot, you should aim to achieve double the weight of the grounds with the addition of water. For example, 18 grams of ground coffee should equate to a total weight of 36 grams with the addition of water, and a pouring time between 20 to 25 seconds. This should be measured from the moment you press the coffee selection button. To reprogram the length of coffee produced, see the video linked in the description. Bean type, temperature, humidity and age will all affect the result. To prepare the perfect tasting coffee, knowing how to adjust your machine to avoid it tasting sour or bitter is important. A sour tasting coffee is often caused by under-extraction, whilst bitterness can be caused by over-extraction. To correct a sour tasting coffee, try reducing the grind level to a finer grind. This will increase the contact time of the water with the coffee, and you can also pull through a little more water than the 1:2 ratio. The final step would be to increase the brewing temperature of the coffee. This can be changed in the settings menu. See the video linked in the description for how to do this. To reduce bitterness, you can try the opposite. Increasing the grind level to increase the coarseness of the grind will reduce the amount of water pulled through. And finally, try reducing the temperature. If none of these variables change the taste to your liking, check the beans that you're using. A light roast can have fruity, acidic tones and can be confused with sour. They can also be a harder bean to extract the coffee flavour. In contrast, if too bitter, try a lighter roast. Taste profiles vary from one person to another and can be very subjective. If the shot of coffee is running too fast and no crema has developed, you need to increase the fineness of the grind. Or if too slow, then adjust to a more coarse grind. Don't forget to purge the coffee currently in the bean container to ensure that the coffee dispensed is from the new adjustment. A good crema can often be an indicator of a good espresso, however the taste is more important. Less crema is often down to older beans, a lighter roast and more Arabica content, whilst more crema is linked to fresh beans, dark fresh roast and the bean type Robusta. Remember, the crema itself is more bitter than the coffee, so stirring it into the espresso before drinking can balance the flavour. Coffee tastes different to everyone, so if you're using the single walled filters, this can take time to perfect. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. If you would like to see further usage tips on this coffee machine, click on the links in the description.